Hello everyone, my name is Lacey Rose, and again, in case some of you haven't seen any of my videos so far, I am a horticulture technology student at Blue Ridge Community College on the Henderson County campus, and this is my last semester. Today I would like to tell you guys a little bit about plants, house plants to be exact, and all the wonderful benefits that they have for us. So the three main things that I would like to talk about are the aesthetics. House plants can improve air quality, and there are many health benefits to having a house plant. So the number one reason most people generally pick out a house plant or choose to get another house plant for their home is decoration purposes. So as you can imagine, there's many endless opportunities to decorate your home with plants. And we could have an interesting plant that is either unique or rare, or just a plant in general. And guests that may come over will be like, hey, look, what is that plant? What's the name of that plant? And how do you take care of it? Or I can't believe that you have such a beautiful plant, and that must be so hard to take care of. There's many ways to design your home with houseplants. Just a few examples are you can hide not so pleasant views. You can fill in spaces, and really you can be as simple or as dramatic as you want with decorating in your home with plants. There's seasonal plants as well, like poinsettias, for example, for Christmas time, and floral mums for Thanksgiving time. And another example for like Mother's Day, there are so many different plants people get for Mother's Day. The number one I can think of for that holiday would be cut flowers, which are fine. They're not living anymore. They're just sitting in water. And I've seen azaleas in little tiny pots be used in the home, and I really wouldn't think of that as a house plant, but you can make any plant you want a house plant as long as you take care of it properly. So like I was saying before, you can be as simple or as dramatic as you want to with your plants. Even a nice vase of cut flowers will really brighten the room or be just a really creative piece to the dining room table. When we talk about air quality, we're talking about how clean is the air that we're breathing, what kind of pollutants are in it, and allergens comes to mind too. So houseplants filter out VOCs, or volatilized organic compounds, from the air. They cause irritations to our upper respiratory systems, make it a little harder to breathe, and if you have asthma, they really make it a lot worse. VOCs are found everywhere, especially in homes and in buildings where adhesives or other construction material has been used. A few examples of some of these harmful substances is carbon monoxide, formaldehyde, carbon dioxide, benzene, and trichloroethylene. And benzene is a harmful gas found in places that have a lot of papers or books, like libraries or home offices. Some of these other chemicals are found in things like printer inks and toners. So NASA actually discovered the VOCs and discovered that plants, a few plants in particular, do better than others, but they recommend at least one plant per 100 square foot inside the home or the office for efficient air filtration. Plants also fixate humidity levels. So a study was found from the University of Norway that when houseplants are grouped together, they decrease the likelihood of dry skin, common colds, and sore throats. This is because with dry conditions, especially in the winter, illnesses can really spread. According to a study reported by WebMD on humidity, there was a study that a collection of spider plants inside one bedroom increased the relative humidity from 20% to a way more comfortable 30% level. Plants recycle carbon dioxide, a process used during photosynthesis to convert the CO2 into oxygen. Oxygen is plants' waste product, and that is what we breathe, so it's perfect. There are some plants that are recommended to be used in the bedroom because they actually release oxygen at night instead of during the day, like some other plants. Some examples of a good bedroom selection for plants are orchids, succulents, snake plant, and Gerber daisies. Some houseplants that I recommend for good air filtration are snake plant. I've got some examples. There's a lot of different kinds of snake plant. This is the biggest one I have so far, and it's kind of hard to see on the video, but it has a yellow and green variegation to it. And this was not an expensive plant. It's probably in a 2-gallon pot here, and I got it from Aldi's for $12.99. And if you were to buy this at Lowe's, it would probably be about 30 bucks. But either way, it's awesome. I love this plant. It's very low maintenance. It adapts to low light levels. Another low light level plant, like if you don't have a window in a room or it just tends to stay darker, is peace lily. And peace lilies are very popular, especially around Mother's Day time or Easter. The one I have doesn't look the greatest in the world, but I keep it in my kitchen beside my stove, so it's kind of oily and it has a lot of dust on it. And another good thing about having houseplants is you can get these really creative pots or containers to keep them in. So this one says Crazy Plant Lady, and I just thought, why not? Because I'm a crazy plant lady. Orchids, that's one of the plants that you can put in your bedroom because it releases oxygen during the night, which will help you sleep better and have a more restful sleep. They are a very elegant choice. They're so incredibly beautiful, but they do have to have higher light. So you'd have to have a grow light or have a room that has a window with plenty of sun exposure. Spider plants are really interesting. There's two main different kinds. They're great for hanging baskets, or if you want to put them on a chair or a table that they can hang off of. But they're called spider plants because they get these little babies that run off of them, and it is said to look like a spider. But this one is actually a pretty young plant. I've just gotten lucky and it's grown pretty well. And I plan to hang this one up somewhere in my living room or maybe my bedroom. But that's one of the plants that boost humidity. and they really help filter the air too. I do not have English ivy with me, but English ivy is one of the really good options to help filter out benzene found in libraries and in offices where papers and books are present. And it's actually really invasive when planted outside, so using it as a houseplant is not a bad idea. And it vines down like the spider plant, but it can really go, and you could use it on top of a shelf to trail down. Let's go to the next slide. So there are so many different physical and psychological health benefits. There's no way that I can fit them in any PowerPoint, no matter how long the pages are. But just a few things. So allergy relief. So like I said earlier, they filter VOCs from the air. And there's plants called scrubbers, which we just discussed, and they scrub the air of these chemicals and gases that cause irritants and cause your nose to itch and cause your skin to itch. Plants can reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and improve overall vital signs. There was a study done where they observed people who were put into stressful situations around, like with plants in the room, and versus people that did not have any kind of natural elements in the room at all. And the folks who were around plants had significantly lower cortisol levels, which is a stress hormone, lower blood pressure, and they reported they didn't feel as stressed out. There's also a study done where students in multiple different classrooms were in a room performing science, math, spelling, and reading tests. Each room had 3 potted plants, and students that performed these tests with the 3 potted plants in the room performed a lot better than the students without the plants in the room. A good choice for a plant that helps with concentration be a bamboo plant or a golden pothos. And pothos is a vining plant. You can trim it up to make it more bushy or just let it go and it'll trail feet. If you go to someone's house and they have a plant, it has green leaves. It doesn't bloom, but it'll be all over their walls or going down their cabinets. It's probably either a philodendron or a pothos. And I just love those. I have several different types of them. And let me tell you, this is one of the easiest plants ever to take care of. This one's kind of small. I divided it off of a bigger one that I have on my bar in my kitchen. It's probably like 3 foot long so far, but this one was just a couple little pieces that I stuck in here, and it's doing great. And I only water this thing like every 3 to 4 weeks. That's a big thing about houseplants. People think, oh, I need to water them, and I'm telling you, the only time I water my plants is if they start going to wilt or I pick up the pot. And you know when you pick up something and you thought it was going to be heavier than what it was and it just kind of flies up, you definitely need to water at that point. But you don't want to water it to the point where it's really soggy and just like leaking water out of it all the time. It'll rot. University of Michigan studied some people studying and working in the presence of plants increases memory retention by up to 20%. Who knew there were science studies about using plants? Like, I really didn't know until I started researching for this assignment. There is also evidence that houseplants or some type of natural element in the room will help people come out of surgery, like recover from a surgery much faster. And People that had plants in their room, either cut flowers or live plants, or at least had a view of some kind of natural element outside of their hospital window, needed less medication for pain after surgery. Plants also can help us recover from trauma or mental health disorders. There is research that taking care of a house plant helps people that struggle with self-care. It helps them become more advocating for themselves, and they feel a sense of accomplishment because they're able to care for this living thing, and they feel success from that. Also, plants like aloe vera can be used for first aid. You can also use aloe vera for a hair mask. Let me just show you real quick. So this aloe was used, this aloe was started from a pup, or a really small plant. It was started in June, and it's huge already. I mean, it's a little spiky on the sides, but what I could do is just take this leaf right here and chop it off, and I could cut it open, and there's going to be gel in there, and I can use that for my hair as like a leave-in conditioner treatment. You can also use aloe for minor burns or sunburns. There are people who use it to treat their psoriasis or other dry skin issues. And apparently you can use aloe for a laxative. Herbal remedies. So there are so many herbs that grow well in either part shade or part sun that they are pretty well adaptable to be inside your house as long as there's a little bit of light there. So like lavender, you can use lavender to relax, and it smells wonderful. There's so many kinds of mint that will grow well inside of a home. You can use those in teas. But obviously consult a physician before starting to treat yourself with plants, because some of them are poisonous. Aromatherapy, lavender, mint, sage. There's so many different things that you can do with plants. And creativity boosting. And like I've said before, you can go simple. Like here's a monstera or philodendron. And then over here in this picture, there are a bunch of ferns and can't really tell what else, but you can make your house look like a jungle and have some really good air quality and great humidity and excellent decorations, or you can just be simple and just have one plant. It's all up to you.